It's the side wall. See, there appears to be rising damp. And the steel work, this was previously galvanized, so it'll need to be sanded down and smoothed. It's always a good idea when it's in this condition to actually strip as far as possible to get back to that galvanizing, and then put a zinc primer before applying the paint. There's a bit of corrosion on the inside of the rail, but this is just normal wear and tear. You'll notice that some of the bricks might need to be redone just from a safety point of view, which we can quote on. Vegetation is very close to the boundary wall, and that will also cause problems going forward. There's quite a bit of steel work. A fair amount of these bricks will need to be addressed. If you'll excuse me, Jeff, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take videos. Yeah, no, we can get up there and have a look anyway before we start, just to make sure, because you always got to start with the top down with these things. And and also videos also just help me in terms of the final idea. We are, I measure to the nearest 20 square meters because that gives me a drum of.
Yeah. I thought there has to be weep holes everywhere.
There should be weep holes, and there's no weep holes here, which is the other thing. Yep. So one doesn't have to waste money, because the wall isn't technically your responsibility if it's not yours. Fine. So we're 2.5 stories high. Standard is 11, and by 10 and by 14. You can see the waterproofing here was done lapping up, but this has actually failed. The name of this complex, is it a complex next door or just some housing?
And what have you there.
Okay. And Jeff, for you guys, the other thing is just looking at this is a cast iron pipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that is good.
So this appears to be an air vent, which is of cast iron, which runs down into the sewage pipes here, and those are all PVC. Just want to inquire as to if we can just make this a smaller air vent and in PVC.
Would it need to be?
But I'm just
Okay.
if you see what this does as well is, because with Google Maps I've got your full roof size, and I know the height of the building, so it's easy for me to get the measurements. But what I won't know is exactly how many cracks, and what I can see there is all of that is probably going to have to be open.
Yeah.
And what you probably find needed to happen there is that.
Now what happens?
So these are from geysers, or from the geysers.
Unfortunately, none of it looks like it's damaged. But it's rusted. Is if you look around it, there's those cracks, and what those cracks
It just flows into the.
note to sleeve that with a PVC, and to quote on painting the exclusive use area as well as this area here. Treat rust on the bracket. Check this outflow as well. There's also cracking, and might need to be changed to PVC.
What we'd have to do? What?
It's about 5 units of spalling there. Doors which are included as part of your levies, which should be going towards your 10-year maintenance plan. So we just sand those and to be replaced on the top. They're just above yours, which you can have a look at. Look at the stairwells. I'm doing a video, so I'll just show that separately on the quote, and then if it's an issue about who's paying it for it, then it is separate. some doors here. These stairwells are quite accessible.
Let's leave it. I mean, once we circle the block, maybe I can get hold of them again.
So what you'll obviously have to do is just move this vegetation when you work.
Yes, of course.
And then
And of course, that's with the fine cracks. That's why it looks like that underneath. Eh?
yeah.
But as I remember, previously when there was...
So I'm just want to also, just while I'm here, because I'm not going to see all the balconies, to get an idea.
Yeah.
You see there's, they could,
That's been there for years and years.
still
and
cast
years.
iron, but the problem is so for now just to repaint the stoop areas and the stairs grey again, and then to repaint the grids black.
And
Quite to dismantle and remove this current structure and to fill in that hole with asphalt.
thing in there.
Okay. Two manhole covers as well are needed.
Somebody's dummy.
Grey colour.
Yeah, well it's, so we're also going to include this the outside burglar bars here. So it's a,
So we're just gonna put some water.
and so again I'm going to allow to replace these two as well, because they both look like they're damaged. So we'll paint these stairs grey as well with grey trim.
You're having water problems in your room. As you say, eventually one day they have to be.
So this downpipe we can quote for replacing this. Yeah, it's to replace the, and while we're scaffolding it, these two downpipes, and then it's two window lens, and around the corner. This will be a good area for scaffolding. And then what I'm, so redirect that shoe from this into that pipe there, and then clean out all of the where the horizontal meets the vertical, and put in seeker flex on this area. Yeah. And then there's quite, remove that antenna, and then just remember the painting of all the white soffit. To replace PVC, yeah.
And then what will happen there?
And then we just put a shoe, and we extend the shoe into,
Everything grey.
paint this area grey. This is the outside toilet, wooden windows. These both full toilets, huh?
Yeah.
Do you want the inside painted of these toilets? Okay, so no, just not the inside, just the passage area and the little stoop.
This?
This little passage, which is a
Why? This is
electrical room.
open. It's an electric box.
Can this box be removed? Or we just, I think we remove that. Yeah.
Yes.
So we may need to look at the parapets on this and the gutter, but we'll inspect that. I'm going to allow the light. Got that down pipe.
pretty well.
We've got now 3.5 stories. So this side is the garage doors. And then those two PVC pipes need to be changed. And there's a bit of spalling and key. Okay, but I'm just going to then estimate. I've got an idea of what the other sides are, and they look like they're about the same. Eh?
Yeah.
Find that there's cracking on that top floor, just like I'm quoting on yours, Jeff.
Yes.
That one probably also needs to be done.
Could be.
And then this floor level, third manhole cover, and this will have to be steel.
Yeah.
And then a few more air vents that will need to be replaced. Well, we've seen cracks there, and I wouldn't be surprised if those cracks are tributable, because if you look at the cracks run all the way here, and they're quite substantial there too. And I mean, there's, yeah, fences are going to be in 15 years.
Exactly. And they've moved away, the original people.
Okay, so this is another. This is also wood, eh? No, this isn't wood. This is. What is this? PVC. It doesn't seem like wood to me. I'm going to place this down pipe, and this is PVC guttering, and And then just fix up this little area where you can see they look like there was plate and some soffit that's collapsing. And then anything that gets left, the nail heads will have to be treated. You can see there's another downpipe on this side of the building which extends 4.5 floors. And that'll need, that can go into a galley, so the chute doesn't need to be long.
Top window looks.
There's a wooden window at the top. It'll need to be sanded, putty replaced. These are 2 aluminiums. Just seal off the edge of the galley where you can see the vegetation is, and you can also notice that it's causing rising damp. Yeah, and then close off this section to the galley where you can see the vegetation growing, and there is some evidence of moisture affecting it. Then these are aluminium windows, with aluminium windows here. You can notice the poor plastering here, and where plumbing repair was done, the Spanish lace stucco isn't done so well. But we're not going to open up again because there's no need for crack repairs there. Just noting the repairs that were done on this particular section, and higher up you can see the different shade of paint. It looks like some plaster work was done in the middle section there at some stage as well. And then what we can do is we can clean up the vegetation and just close that channel off as well. Yeah, so this particular wall is the boundary for this complex. It's built on this complex, and we will just treat and repaint. So I think this is it, just the front little section. All these windows are aluminium. This is some wooden windows that will need to be varnished. And aluminium on the middle. I can't see what's on the top.
That's an O.
There's a steel rail there. We'll have to find out what type of windows they are. And then there's the work on this column. You wanna? I see it looks like there's 2 different shades. Are we just going to do it with one?
Yeah, I think so. Why complicated?
I think, unless you're going to make it a big difference in contrast. But I think the white bands will look nice.
Yeah.
We can make it white if it's a need be. You know, see they've already changed this downpipe to PVC. The other thing is we're going to leave the PVC unpainted. Like that pipe.
Yeah.
Okay.
As opposed to painting it in again. And here you would probably see the original color of the walls.
Yeah,
It
so
doesn't get affected by.
stairwell level. So maybe there's some work on the stairs.
Okay.
I don't know what's causing. Yeah. So there's a few hairline cracks on the side here, and one repair that was done, and some cracks on this side. Record because
No.
okay. Started working. She was
Yeah.
we liaised with her, and then what's his name? Alan kind of took over and said, look, she's incapacitated. Or something, because it's peeling worse than the rest of the building. But you do get extra. You do get extra. Always be contentious because some want to change, some want to say. And when you got 10 owners, sometimes there's 10.
Thanks.
All letterboxes are still in the other places as well.
I would imagine.
Yeah.
See, our name is still there. Yeah. You know, it's been there since 1982.
It wasn't, and then we'll just paint these white again as well, because these